Hello, this is the 10th day, the first video of my class, Frank's Hum 100. First of all, I want to tell you, I forgot to tell you Monday about my plans for this week. If it goes well, Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to spend pretty much in London, just like we spent a lot of time in Italy. And then Friday, I want to take you on a field trip. I'm going to actually pick up the camera and we're going to go on a field trip. My first field trip. I'll tell you about that later. I'll keep that as a little bit of a surprise. All right, back in the notes, on the back of the table of contents, if you manage to get it all on one face, well then on the back of that sheet of paper, that's what I'd like to do, there we've got room for it. Put a grade sheet. Now, you may not keep grades. I don't know what your attitude toward this is going to be. But in public school, when I taught, I wanted the kids to keep their own grades. Later it all became computerized, but you can still do it the old way. What I would do is I'd have them write grade sheet on the top line, centered up, and then divide that piece of paper in half, more or less, right there. You know, some kids, they want to count all the lines. You shouldn't have to. And then darken a line. And then this field, divide it in half by eye. Again, you shouldn't have to count. And then darken that line. And then the field here, by eye, estimate halfway down, and darken that line. Now we have 4 fields. Well, where I taught, by the time I finished teaching, there were 4 9-week grading periods. So I have them darken, if there's a margin, they darken the line right there, otherwise make a little bit of a line straight down through. And this is the first 9 WKS weeks. That, for me, that's not worth recording that abbreviation. It's not worth it. And then the second ditto, just quotation marks, that should be read then as the second 9 weeks. Third ditto and the fourth ditto. And what I'd ask the kids to do, every time I gave a quiz back to them, or a paper back that was graded, I would say, put the date. I'm guessing that the quiz on Much Ado About Nothing was last Friday. I don't remember exactly. That would have been the 9th. So 9/9, I don't think you have to put the year here because it's all obviously going to be, the year is going to be obvious. And the grade, I always have them make the grade as a fraction. How many right did they get over how many they could have gotten? And I think I asked 21 questions. If you had all right, 21 over 21. I usually reward the kids if they keep it neat. In other words, if they use a pen and if they put the date, their name on the top left-hand side and the date of the quiz or whatever on the top right-hand side, I'll give them an extra point for doing that. So if you did all that, I'm not so sure I told you you should, but if you feel kindly toward yourself, why don't you give yourself an extra point, which means you could have 22 out of 21. Now if you did all that, but then you missed 5, that would be 16 out of 21. So there's the grade sheet. Now to give me a chance to erase the board, I'm just going to say that's the end of the first video. And in just a moment, we'll go on to the second video. Stay around.